The professional learning community team you will see in this video is composed of elementary school teachers who will be collaboratively unpacking the 4th grade math standards, measurement, and data. It's important that teachers work together to unpack the standards into clear, specific, student-friendly learning objectives. This is the first step that is connected to daily classroom practice. When teachers across a grade level have a common understanding of what the standards mean, then they have common expectations for what students should know, understand, and be able to do. This is how we begin a continuous cycle of improvement and raise the achievement levels of all students. Let's watch how these 4th grade teachers do that.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Good, thanks.
Good day. So before we start, I really want to make sure that we go over our norms. So we're gonna honor our start and end times, make sure that we get everybody out of here when they're supposed to be. We're gonna state our objective and stay focused. We're gonna actively listen and participate, voice and respond to concerns positively and non-judgmentally. We're going to address violations of the norms, and we're gonna slow down to think, reflect, and puzzle about things. All right, so everybody's in agreement with the norms?
Sounds good.
So we know that in the past we've been using textbook series that maybe aren't always the closest to the standards. They say on the front that they are, but maybe not aligned as we would like them. So it was really important for us to go through this process of trying to unpack the standards and making sure that we're addressing all the standards we need to. So we'll be taking a look at the measurement and data standards today. So what I did was I created a packet for you. So you have your tan packet.
Nice.
And in the front of the tan packet, we have our curriculum document, which is actually a Google Doc. So you can access the Google Doc using the address on the packet. And if you flip a couple pages, about 4 pages in to the packet, you'll notice that we have those same unpacking the standard sheets that we've been using. And today I have pre-printed these 7 different standards that we're gonna be unpacking in the measurement and data unit. So let's take a look at measurement and data number 3. First thing we wanna do is look at the language of the standard as it's written. And we're going to be underlining the nouns. And then we'll be circling the verbs to get started. And in the past couple weeks, it's worked really well when other people have taken the opportunity to read the standard out loud and sort of lead the discussion. So Randy, if you want to start with standard 3.
Sure. Standard 3, apply the area and perimeter formulas for rectangles in real-world and mathematical problems. For example, find the width of a rectangular room given the area of the flooring and the length by viewing the area formula as a multiplication equation with an unknown factor.
And underline, and then we'll go over what we have. Okay, so once you have all of your nouns underlined, why don't we start going over?
I had area and perimeter.
Okay.
Rectangles.
I also had formulas in there as well.
Right, because they're talking about specific knowing the formula. And they did specifically mention that it needs to be real-world problems and mathematical problems. So if we make a note of that. So let's move on to the verbs.
I had apply.
Apply.
Find.
Find.
I also had view.
All right, so let's move on to our Webb's depth of knowledge. So looking at the verbs and the skills that the students need to be able to use in this particular standard, what level do we think that the students need to be operating on for this standard?
I had picked level 3 because you're actually applying the knowledge to a real world situation.
Or are we in agreement with level 3?
I think level 3 works
I agree,
the
level
best.
3, yes, definitely.
Okay, great. So let's mark level 3. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna develop some student-friendly learning objectives, which are the We Are Learning To statements in our classrooms. And we really want them to be focused on the specific skills that the students need to be able to acquire, but we also wanna make sure that they're in student-friendly language.
Maybe have one focus on area and one focus on perimeter.
Okay.
Yeah, and make sure that we discuss using the formulas, and they also put in, having that unknown factor. So making sure that, we diagram it so that, we're putting that in there as well.
Yeah, mentioning both those things. All right, anyone want to start us off with some language for our objective?
Well, they're using the area formula to find the width of a
Okay.
rectangle, given the area and the length.
Okay, so we want them to be able to work backwards,
Right,
basically.
exactly.
So use the
Area formula.
area formula, okay? Area formula for a rectangle
The
The
width.
width, yes.
to find the width,
In the area.
And area.
given the length and area. Okay, great. So we have used the area formula for a rectangle to find the width given the length and area. All right, so we talked about the area formula, so now we definitely need to talk about perimeter in our second SLO.
Well, basically, it's similar, but we're just using perimeter instead of area.
So then maybe finding the width of the rectangle.
Okay, so our second SLO for standard 3 was find the width of a rectangle given the length of one side and the total perimeter. So we're all in agreement with that?
Yes.
That's good.
All right, so we have our 2 student-friendly learning objectives, and now we're going to move on to our evidence statements. So we want to start them with we can and make sure that they're specific to the skill. And again, we want to put in, since we're talking about calculating perimeter and area, we want to make sure we're putting in specific numbers so that the students have something to grasp on too.
Well, since it said specifically relating it to the real world, maybe they could actually find the width of a rectangular room and calculate the area and then use that information to find the length.
Okay,
That sounds good.
Okay.
calculate
The width of the rectangular classroom by dividing its area of 48 feet squared by its length of 8 feet.
All right. I really like that example because it's based on our classrooms and it's something they can actually measure, which
Yep.
measurement, that's what this unit's all about.
And since SLO2 was so similar to the first one, I think we could still even use the classroom as the
Right.
example for solving for the width when you're given the total perimeter. You think?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we should say we can calculate the width of our rectangular classroom, and they'll have to, you know that they have to subtract 2 times the length.
Right. So are we all in agreement with that?
That works great.
Evidence
Good.
statements? So do you want to input those into
Sure.
our Google Doc? Well, now that we're starting to think about where these specific standards are going to fit into our unit, let's take a look at standard 3. Although we're talking about area and perimeter in other units, I think this standard 3 really belongs more in a measurement unit just because it's really based on those real-world mathematical problems, and we're
Yes.
asking them to apply what they learned about area and perimeter to specific real-world problems.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, I think we've all done a really good job unpacking these standards. I know it's been a lengthy process getting through all these different standards, but now we're ready to move on to the next step, which is to cluster our standards into our different units that we're actually going to be teaching. So let's start to think about where we would place these specific standards into units.
Great.
In the video we just saw, I want to note the importance of having a viable, standards-based curriculum that is the foundation of the instructional process. Curriculum should be collaboratively developed and directly connected to daily classroom practice. If the curriculum is going to be viable, it needs to be reflected on and revised regularly by the PLC teams. Once teachers have impacted the standards into clear, specific, student-friendly learning objectives, the hardest work is completed. The skeleton of the curriculum is established, and the teachers work together to build the rest of the pieces. The work of the teachers is captured into the unit template and in their future PLC conversations. Then the remaining pieces of the curriculum are added. These include essential questions, instructional activities, resources, and assessments. If we are going to improve the learning of all students, there must be tight alignment across all pieces of the instructional process, beginning with the curriculum and continuing with formative and summative assessments and instructional experiences. Unpacking the standards collaboratively is a powerful professional learning experience that improves both teacher practice and student learning.